Hello everyone and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Drew's tragic shooting. Nina assists Willow in cover-up? According to General Hospital spoilers, a major twist could be in store for the love between Willow Corinthos and Drew Quartermaine. Following the tragic shooting of Drew, will Nina Reeves assist her daughter in pulling off a startling cover-up? Drew will eventually face consequences for his many enemies and his actions. But that doesn't imply Drew's end will be instantaneous. A scenario in which Drew enters a coma could be considered instead if General Hospital want to retain Cameron Matheson. It would still have a similar level of drama without completely eliminating Drew. Drew's harboring some enormous secrets that could jeopardize his future with Willow, so there's the potential for a confrontation to go out of hand if everything unravels. The breakup news will not go down well with Drew because he is obviously enamored with Willow now. Even if Willow decides to move on from Drew and create new plans for her future apart from him, he can still reject her. Is there anything Willow can do to protect herself if a confrontation with Drew gets out of hand? Could Willow even pull the trigger on Drew and worry once the cops are investigating a shooter mystery? In that instance, Willow may fear the cops won't buy that she was acting in self-defense. The notion of going to prison and leaving her kids without a mom might drive Willow into a tailspin. Willow might also worry about the custody fight with Michael Corinthos and think that even if she gets off the hook, all this Drew upheaval could come back to bite her in court. What if instead of calling the cops after this possible Drew disaster, Willow phones Nina to aid with a cover-up instead? That'd be a fascinating method to reconnect this mother and daughter after their relationship crumbles. Willow won't be happy about Nina's safe snooping, and she'll be even less thrilled until she eventually hears about Nina's encounters with Drew. Nina and Willow's friendship is likely to take some hits in the coming episodes, but Nina might prove she's a dependable mom by stepping up for Willow when it counts. Perhaps Nina could opt to take the fall for Willow if need be. We could absolutely envision Nina helping Willow conceal her tracks or perhaps walking down to the PCPD to claim she did the deed herself. Nina might wish that Drew never wakes out of his coma, but his wake-up call could ultimately lead to his side of the tale and more difficulties. General Hospital spoilers reveal Willow has some difficulty ahead no matter what, so stay tuned for updates on all the mayhem. It's the end of the line for Valentine as Jack corners him before he can leave Port Charles. Today on General Hospital, Nina makes headway separating Willow and Drew, Tracy threatens Drew and Willow, and Cody steps up to rescue Molly. At the hospital, Willow leaves a message for Drew saying she's leaving work and heading over. Nina enters and says she hates to ambush her, but she wants Willow to reconsider moving in with Drew. She feels if she moves in with Drew this quickly, she isn't giving Michael a chance to compromise on custody. Willow admits she's been thinking the same thing before, but then Carly was brought into the ER. Nina is startled to learn about Carly, but thinks this is another reason to postpone the relocation. The kids may have lost their grandma, and it would look horrible for her to move herself and the kids in with Drew so quickly after what happened. Willow says she can't live with her forever, so Nina offers to buy her a home. Nina knows Willow appreciates her independence, but she could use her own space. Willow worries Drew will be disappointed. Nina claims he'll understand, and by building a permanent house of her own, it will benefit her when it comes to custody. Willow says she has to think about this and it's been a long day. Nina is delighted she's even contemplating it. Carly learns she was poisoned. In her room, Carly wakes up and asks Jack what happened. Isaiah appears and Jack tells Carly he has to leave. He's going to make sure this never happens again, and he'll be back soon. Isaiah asks Carly what the last thing she remembers is. She recalls drinking champagne with Jack and feeling miserable. That's it. In the hall, Jack finds a missed call and message from Sunny. He talks to Anna and says Carly is awake and she will be fine. Jack suspects Anna called Sunny about his ex, but Anna didn't. Jack wonders why Sunny is calling him. Tracy has a dire warning for Drew and Willow. Tracy shows up at Drew's house to notify him that his attorney Martin Gray is on his way to California with a federal marshal. Drew wonders what she did, and Tracy says Martin did it himself by breaking some annoying little regulations. She replies that if his circumstances have altered, maybe he'll consider revising his plans for her family's crypt. Drew believes there are more lawyers out there, ones that would love to tear her apart. Tracy attacks Drew. Tracy thinks he could get a new lawyer. But he's not the brightest bulb in the shed. If he tries to match wits with her, she'll win every time. If he persists in moving her family's crypt, then she'll take away everything he has. Drew assures Tracy that the law is on his side and those bodies in the crypt won't care if they are moved. Just then Willow walks in the door. Drew justifies his moves. Drew assures Willow that Tracy is merely going. Before she goes, Tracy asks Willow if the kids miss their home and family. Willow says they miss the gatehouse and the horses. Tracy asks why she is going to move them in with this nasty man who wants to dig up their great-grandparents. Willow reminds Tracy she understands her background, and that her family has turned their backs on her at times. Willow defends Drew. Willow says Tracy is so blinded by her rage and resentment that she can't see how terrific Drew is. Willow tells Tracy if she had welcomed Drew into the family, he would have been the most loyal quartermain of them. She has nobody to blame except herself. Tracy advises Willow to remember those words, as she'll be speaking them to herself in a mirror soon enough. Ava is broke. At the Port Charles Grill, Ava's accountant tells her despite Nina's loan, she's still broke. He says she's barely paid the mortgage on her 2 galleries, and she owes a lot in taxes. He encourages her to tighten her purse strings, stock up on ramen, and no more shopping sprees. He insists she hand her credit cards over, which she grudgingly does, and reminds her that she needs to stay to a budget and is near to maxing out her cards. She claims she needs to pay for the martini she ordered and has to meet someone for dinner, so can she at least keep 1 card? He lets her have 1 card with a bit of wiggle room but adds she needs to know her limit and keep under it. Ava and her accountant. The accountant exits and rather than order a second martini, Ava asks her server what he has on tap. Nina calls hoping to have a drink. Ava reveals she was waiting for Rick, but he didn't arrive up, so she was going to head home. Nina instructs her to keep put and she'll be right there. Nina sniffs beer. Nina comes, sees the drink, and assumes Rick must have shown up. Ava says he hasn't and she was trying something new. Nina sniffs the drink and gasps. Domestic. She tells Nina they aren't doing this and orders French wine. Nina then lets Ava in on the progress she's made with Willow. Cody's in trouble with the law again. Alexis arrives at the station as Cody called her. He adds he was told to seek out to her by Tracy if he ever got into trouble with the cops. She asks what kind of trouble is he in? Molly appears and says he's been arrested for big theft auto. Alexis meets with Cody. Cody maintains that's not what happened, but Molly says to save it since she's pursuing his case. Alexis says she's defending Cody, therefore Molly ought to recuse herself. Molly can't as there is no one to reassign his case to, so he'll have to spend 2 days in jail. Cody maintains he's not doing that. Just then, Rick comes and proposes Alexis recuse herself. Rick and Alexis argue over Cody. Rick explains he just happened to be here, observed Alexis badgering Molly, and wanted to give his help. Alexis and Rick go at one another, without giving Cody a chance to chime in. Molly tells them enough and that Cody has been trying to say something. Cody says he was caught for taking his own automobile which is all paid for, and this is a tremendous mistake. Molly verifies Cody's claims and learns out the officer who pulled Cody over for failing to use his turn signal, mixed up his license plate. Cody says wonderful, and he's pleased to pay the ticket and go. Alexis thinks they could fight the ticket, and Rick rushes in to offer his services. Cody tells Rick they should take a walk and talk, while Molly brings her parents into the interrogation room. Cody gives Rick advice. Cody warns Rick to think about his continual battling with his ex and what it's doing to Molly. Rick questions why this is his business. Cody explains he likes Molly, and she can use a break right now after all she's been through. He believes Molly shouldn't have to play referee between her parents, so at least try to be cordial with Alexis. Meanwhile, Molly tells her mother she needs to stop letting her dad get to her. Alexis thinks she's correct and she'll try. Sunny gives Jack a heads up. Dante drops into Sunny's apartment to discuss. He tells his dad that Lulu wants Rocco to live with her, but he isn't convinced it's a good idea right now. Sunny believes he and Lulu need to figure out a way to compromise, as court battles over custody can get unpleasant. Dante believes she'll meet him halfway. Dante needs advice. Sunny gets a call from Brennan, so he excuses himself to accept it. Sunny warns him that Valentine is in Port Charles, and if he gets to the pier, He may beat him to the boat arriving to pick him up. Brennan says he owes him, and his ex-wife is a patient at G. Valentine says goodbye again. Laura sees Valentine trying to break into her apartment, and she refuses to let him take Charlotte. He only wants to see her, but Laura advises Valentine that he needs to leave Charlotte alone and let her move on. Laura also proposes he give himself in so that the small child won't continually wonder if he's still alive. Laura questions Valentine. They proceed into her place, and Valentine warns if he gives himself in, he won't be living long. Laura swears she will use all her resources to aid him. She's lived life on the run for years with Luke and Lucky, and it's no way to live. Valentine can't stay because if he does, he'll simply hurt Charlotte more than he already has. Valentine must run. Laura confesses Charlotte isn't here, and she's with Rocco. She again offers to protect him. He believes she'll need to know who and what she's up against. Suddenly, Lulu appears and is surprised to see Valentine. Lulu won't let Valentine take Charlotte, but he argues that's not why he's here. Lulu talks to Valji. Laura allows them a moment alone, and Valentine explains her mother thinks he should turn himself in, but his only choice is to run. He says he needs to go, but before he does, she thanks him for sending Charlotte home. Valentine urges her to inform Charlotte that he would always love her, and he will always be with her. He then takes off. Carly has questions. Jason comes at the hospital and learns what happened to Carly from Anna. He then heads in to visit Carly, and Isaiah tells she was poisoned with polonium. Jason questions why someone would want to kill Carly. Anna walks in and admits Brennan was the target. Jason with Carly. Anna asks Carly what happened. Carly explains the events of what happened with the champagne, and that the alcohol hit her. She felt terrible it happened so fast. Then she woke up here. Anna thanks her and heads out. Carly knows the look on his face and tells Jason that she doesn't want to quarrel with him about Jack. Jason doesn't want to fight either and is simply grateful she's alive. Anna, Carly and Jason speak. Sunny and Dante arrive, and Anna tells Sunny that Carly is okay. Anna informs them that Brennan was the target. Jack ordered champagne which was poisoned, and she assumes Valentine is responsible. Dante says if Valentine is back, he wants to make sure Rocco and Charlotte are safe, and the detective takes off. Dante and Sunny discover about Carly and Valentine. Sunny tells Anna not to worry about Valentine, as he saw the new owner of his former apartment tonight and is on his way out of town. However, he doubts he'll get far. Anna thinks Sunny tipped Brennan off, who will certainly kill Valentine. She can't believe what Sunny's done and she hurries off. Sunny walks in to see Carly and is relieved she's okay, but he needs to talk to Jason. They step out, and Sunny tells Jason that Valentine poisoned Carly, and Jack is on his way to intercept Valentine. Anna is also headed to save Valentine, and he wants Jason to make sure Brennan finishes the job. Sunny gives Jason commands. Sunny comes back to Carly, who teases with her ex that he won't get rid of her this easily. The race to get to Valentine. At the station, Dante puts an APB out on Valentine. He gets a call from Lulu who informs him that Valentine was just at her mother's, and she fears he's in trouble. Dante says he knows and they are managing it. Alexis and Molly hear Dante speak Valentine's name. Alexis questions him, and Dante tells her all he knows. Back at Laura's, she isn't astonished Valentine left, but she wishes he had stayed for Charlotte's sake. Lulu says Valentine wanted her to thank her for the advice, but given all he's done, he may have been right to flee. Laura says she will grieve the man Valentine could have been, and Lulu agrees. In her car, Anna phones Jack, leaves a message and tells him not to go after Valentine. On the pier, Valentine waits for a ferry. Jack comes behind him, aims a gun at his back and says, "It's the end of the line, old friend." General Hospital spoilers state that as much as he can try, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. General Hospital spoilers. Jason won't stop Carly. Of course, we are talking about Jason since during the most recent episode of the show, he made it fairly obvious to Carly that she should stay away from Brennan. Carly wound up in the hospital after she swallowed a glass of poisoned champagne that was meant for him. Jason even paid a visit to Valentine and told him that he wanted to know everything there is to know about Jack. Valentine admits that he's never seen Jack afraid the way he was about Carly. Later on, Jack went to Carly and told her that she needed to break her connection with him immediately. As many of our loyal readers presumably already know, the internet certainly did have a lot to say about the matter. Some even reacted with, "I am not a Carly fan, but all of the men forbidding a middle-aged woman from dating who she chooses is so upsetting, and that is even when it doesn't come from the equally dangerous men. Is Brennan the guy who took Frisco's job? I am genuinely shocked at all these people urging a grown-up married to 7 times Carly to stay away from Brennan. General Hospital spoilers. What's next for Carly?" Another critic commented, "All the times that Carly almost died, or her life was put in danger because of her association with Sonny and Jason, but Brennan is the dangerous one, you have to get away from him. Oh Lord, please give me a friggin' break. Don't disrespect our intelligence. They behave like everyone just started watching the show last week." And then there was this comment as well. "Definitely seems like Brennan isn't going to be long for Port Charles, the way the story has shifted over the past 2 weeks. It's just a shame all the work Charles Measure did at building an interesting original character, and then they did whatever they did to run him off, and here we are. Brennan would certainly end up with a bullet in his chest like Jagger." Of course, General Hospital fans will have to tune in each and every day to find out what will happen next. General Hospital rumors and updates suggest curiosity around Drew Quartermain's medical records is heating up. What plans is Portia Robinson concocting? And how is she intending to use Drew's sensitive patient information? Portia was snooping in Drew's medical records. In the episode aired on March 21st, Portia found herself deep in thought as she perused Drew's medical records in her office. The gears were definitely working in her mind as she sorted through the folder labeled Patient, prominently showing Drew's name. While Portia has been accommodating Drew's requests and even supported him during the press conference, she is eager to leave this blackmail predicament. Although Drew presently maintains the advantage, it's apparent that Portia is scheming something that could tip the balance. Unbeknownst to her, Jordan Ashford later entered her office and observed the paperwork laying on her desk. The preview video for Monday, March 24th shows Ava Jerome concerned. The preview video for March 24th sees Ava Jerome raising worries, perhaps after gaining wind of Portia's grandiose strategy, or at least picking up on some hints. In the film, Ava urges Portia against letting fear to drive her into making poor decisions. It's apparent that Ava is anxious about Portia's plan to revenge against Drew and shift the dynamics in her favor. This technique has the potential to backfire significantly, forcing Ava to deliver a warning in an effort to deter Portia from taking a course of action that could escalate the situation. Despite this, Portia looks steadfast in her effort to demonstrate her control and put Drew in his appropriate position. What exactly is Portia up to? The insertion of the medical file aspect by GH authors shows it has big consequences, but what way is it moving? Does Portia plan blackmail? Portia's actions implies that she may have unearthed something that Drew would prefer to keep concealed. Something she might use against him like a fire battling fire situation. There could be a medical condition that, if exposed, might put question on Drew's mental fitness or his qualifications as a lawmaker. Or Portia might consider changing Drew's medical records to match her own purposes, a hazardous act, but Portia has proven a willingness to manipulate the system when she's in a tight place. Another option is that her investigations could disclose that Drew is not who he claims to be at all, and the man who was rescued from Cassadine Island isn't Drew at all. What's behind Drew's medical file and Portia's hidden agenda? Introduction. In the world of mystery, intrigue, and psychological drama, few things captivate an audience more than hidden secrets and ulterior motives. The enigmatic nature of Drew's medical file and Portia's concealed agenda raises numerous questions. What secrets lie within Drew's confidential records? Why is Portia so invested in keeping them hidden? Are these revelations tied to a deeper conspiracy, or are they merely personal secrets that could unravel lives? This exploration delves into the possible explanations behind Drew's medical file, Portia's true intentions, and the broader implications of their intertwined fates. By analyzing character motivations, potential plot twists, and thematic elements, we can uncover the layers of deception, power struggles, and emotional turmoil that define their story. The significance of Drew's medical file. 1. A history of trauma or illness. Medical files often contain sensitive information about a person's health, past traumas, or chronic conditions. If Drew's file is being concealed, it could suggest a history of mental illness. Perhaps Drew has a diagnosed condition that, if revealed, could undermine his credibility or social standing. A past injury with legal implications. Maybe Drew was involved in an accident or incident that someone wants to keep buried. A genetic disorder or terminal illness. If Drew is unaware of a serious condition, someone like Portia may be withholding the truth to manipulate him. 2. Evidence of foul play. Medical records can also serve as legal evidence. If Drew's file contains discrepancies, such as signs of poisoning, unexplained injuries, or tampered test results, it might indicate medical malpractice. A doctor or hospital could be covering up negligence. A crime. Someone may have harmed Drew and altered his records to avoid suspicion. Identity fraud. The file might not belong to Drew at all, but to someone else, suggesting a case of mistaken identity or stolen records. 3. A hidden connection to Portia. The most intriguing possibility is that Drew's medical file directly implicates Portia. Perhaps she was involved in his treatment. If she's a medical professional, she may have falsified records. She is biologically linked to him. The file could reveal a secret familial relationship, e.g., she's his mother, sister, or even a secret child. She caused his condition. If she harmed Drew in the past, she may be ensuring he never remembers. Portia's hidden agenda. What is she hiding? Portia's interest in Drew's medical records suggests she has a vested interest in controlling the narrative. But why? 1. She's protecting herself. If Portia has something to lose, her career, reputation, or freedom, she may be suppressing the truth. Possible motives include: she made a medical error. If she misdiagnosed or mistreated Drew, she could be liable. She committed a crime. If she harmed Drew or someone connected to him, the file could expose her. She's being blackmailed. Someone else may be forcing her to keep the records hidden. 2. She's manipulating Drew for personal gain. Portia might not be a villain but a strategist using the file to control Drew. Possible scenarios: financial exploitation. If Drew stands to inherit wealth, she may be ensuring he remains dependent on her. Emotional control. By withholding his medical history, she could be gaslighting him into trusting her. A twisted form of love. She may believe she's protecting him from painful truths. 3. She's part of a larger conspiracy. Portia may not be acting alone. If she's part of an organization, a corrupt hospital, a secret society, or a criminal network, Drew's file could be a piece of a larger puzzle. Potential connections. A medical experiment. Drew could be an unwitting test subject. A political cover-up. His condition might be tied to a scandal someone wants buried. A revenge plot. Someone from Drew's past may be using Portia to exact vengeance. The psychological and thematic implications. Beyond the surface-level mystery, the concealment of Drew's medical file and Portia's hidden agenda explore deeper themes. 1. The fragility of memory and identity. If Drew's medical records contain suppressed memories or altered diagnoses, the story touches on how easily reality can be manipulated. Is Drew who he thinks he is? Has his past been rewritten? 2. The ethics of secrecy in medicine. Medical professionals are bound by confidentiality. But what happens when that secrecy is abused? Portia's actions raise ethical questions about who controls personal health information. 3. Power dynamics in relationships. Portia's control over Drew's file symbolizes a power imbalance. Whether she's a caregiver, lover, or enemy, her ability to withhold truth gives her dominance over his life. 4. The consequences of deception. Every lie has ripple effects. If Drew discovers the truth, will it destroy him or set him free? And if Portia's secrets are exposed, will she face justice or will she find a way to escape accountability? Possible plot twists and resolutions. How might this mystery unfold? Several directions are possible. 1. Drew discovers the truth. He stumbles upon his real medical records, uncovering a shocking diagnosis or evidence of tampering. He confronts Portia, leading to a dramatic showdown where her true motives are revealed. 2. Portia's downfall. Another character exposes her, perhaps a colleague who suspects foul play. Her own guilt or fear drives her to make a fatal mistake, leading to her undoing. 3. A darker revelation. The file reveals that Drew was never sick. Someone was making him ill. Portia isn't acting alone. A powerful figure has been pulling the strings all along. 4. Redemption or tragedy. Portia confesses, seeking forgiveness, but is it too late? Drew, overwhelmed by the truth, suffers a breakdown or takes drastic action. General Hospital spoilers. Drew's shooting tragedy. Nina helps Willow with cover-up? Drew Kane has faced his fair share of struggles in Port Charles, but his latest ordeal might be his most dangerous yet. Recent General Hospital spoilers suggest that Drew becomes the victim of a tragic shooting, shaking the town to its core. As the mystery behind the incident unfolds, Nina Reeves finds herself entangled in a shocking cover-up, one that involves none other than her estranged daughter, Willow Tate. Could Nina and Willow find themselves forced to work together to conceal the truth about what really happened to Drew? Drew's life hangs in the balance. The circumstances surrounding Drew's shooting remain murky, but one thing is certain. He is in critical condition. Whether he was deliberately targeted or caught in the crossfire of someone else's vendetta, the event sends shockwaves through his loved ones. Carly Spencer, already devastated by the loss of Jason Morgan, is beside herself with worry. Having grown close to Drew, she fears she might lose another man she cares deeply about. Sam McCall, Drew's ex and co-parent to their daughter Scout, is another person desperate for answers. She has a complicated history with Drew, but their connection remains strong, and she is determined to uncover who was behind this attack. Meanwhile, Curtis Ashford, who has relied on Drew in recent months, may take matters into his own hands to track down the shooter. Nina's role in the cover-up. At first glance, Nina's involvement in this tragedy seems unlikely. After all, she and Drew haven't exactly been allies, particularly after she played a part in sabotaging Carly and Drew's business dealings. However, circumstances may push Nina into a precarious position, one that forces her to choose between her own well-being and her daughter's. If Nina stumbles upon incriminating evidence related to the shooting, she may be tempted to keep it under wraps, especially if revealing it would harm someone she loves. But what if the person she's protecting is Willow? After months of tension and estrangement, could this crisis finally bring mother and daughter together? Willow's shocking connection to the crime. The biggest question remains: how is Willow connected to Drew's shooting? It's possible that Willow was an unintended witness to the crime, placing her in an impossible situation. If she saw something, or worse, if she inadvertently played a role in what happened, she may feel the need to keep quiet to protect herself or someone she cares about. Could Willow have been at the scene when the shooting occurred? If she witnessed the culprit but refuses to come forward, Nina may step in to help her keep the truth hidden. Nina has made plenty of mistakes, but protecting her daughter could take precedence over everything else. Their fragile relationship has been hanging by a thread ever since the truth about Nina's betrayal was exposed. However, a shared secret, especially one this explosive, could force them into an uneasy alliance. The aftermath and fallout. If Drew survives, the next step is identifying the shooter. Port Charles is no stranger to violent crime, and enemies lurk in every corner. Could this be mob-related, given Drew's past entanglements? Or is there a more personal vendetta at play? If Nina and Willow do cover up crucial details about the case, they run the risk of exposure. Sonny Corinthos, ever the protector, may sense that something isn't right and launch his own investigation. Carly, known for her ability to sniff out deception, could also become suspicious of Nina's behavior. On the other hand, if the truth does come out, Willow could face serious consequences for withholding evidence. Not only would this jeopardize her career as a nurse, but it could also impact her relationship with Michael Corinthos. Michael already struggles with his feelings toward Nina, and if he learns that his wife conspired with her, it could spell disaster for their marriage. Could this crisis mend broken bonds? Interestingly, while this crisis has the potential to destroy relationships, it could also pave the way for reconciliation. If Nina risks everything to protect Willow, it might finally prove her love and devotion to her daughter. Willow has been reluctant to let Nina into her life, but this act of loyalty could change everything. The same could be said for Drew and Carly. If Drew recovers and learns about the lengths Carly went to in order to seek justice, it might strengthen their bond. On the flip side, if Carly discovers that Willow and Nina have been keeping secrets, it could create an entirely new rift. Who really shot Drew? As speculation continues, fans are left wondering who would want Drew dead. Could it be someone from his past seeking revenge? Is this a warning shot tied to Sunny's ongoing battles in the mob world? Or could the shooter be someone completely unexpected, shaking up the General Hospital landscape in a major way?